Hi, Misha here, and this is yet another Swiss video, but it will be a little different from what we normally do, certainly from what I normally do, although Jay does quite a few blade videos. Today, let's talk about a Swiss bayonet, specifically a rather unique, interesting, and naturally well-made one. The model 1914 Pioneer bayonet, as originally issued on the K11 or 1911 carbine, and continued to be used through the K31 short rifle. Production would last from, 1914 till World War II, give or take, and these would be issued throughout the K31's lifetime. So here I have it on the gun. Goes to show you it is a relatively short gun, and it's quite a long bayonet. In fact, it is longer than the gun's barrel. Well, let's get it off here and talk about some of the features. As you would expect, fitment on the gun is very tight, as it is in the scabbard, which is why I went ahead and took it out in between shots here. And here we have the blade's most distinctive feature, the Sawback. It has 33 teeth on one side and 32 on the other, and these are very crisp, let's say, and this was literally for sawing things. Not so much people, but brush and just other things. The metal is steel with kind of a nickel coating on it, wood grips. It has a fuller groove on the right side, but for some reason the left side is ungrooved. And it has a typical bayonet edge, so not too sharp, but sharp enough. And it comes to a distinctive point. Interestingly, the blade actually flares out a bit towards the point, so it's a little bit wider here and tapers down a bit as you come back. Typical cross guard, typical hilt with spring-loaded button. Let me move this aside so I don't bang it. Here we see the maker's mark, HS, which is for Hans Steimer, or Steamer, one of the 3 or 4 makers that did these. And interestingly, this one has a serial, but when these left the factory, they didn't have a serial on them. It would be added once it was assigned to a weapon, whatever that might be, to match there. Likewise, on the scabbard, this leather hanger would only have a hole punched once it was issued out for a tight fit. I believe originally scabbards were a mix of leather and metal, but as you get into the 30s and World War II, they started going to the metal scabbard and replacing older leather ones with metal as needs be. This is a very long and massive bayonet. It's over 24 inches total, and 19 inches of that is blade, with the hilt being about 5 inches. The scabbard, of course, has to be as long, including the ball tip here. It's about 20 inches. So this is a serious blade. Typical Swiss quality. Their knives are just known for excellence, including Swiss Army. I guess this could be like the biggest Swiss Army knife, right? Because it is from Switzerland and it is Army, therefore a Swiss Army knife. And these were issued to troops like you'd expect. It's often called an engineer's bayonet because it was issued to engineers. It was also issued to artillery, mechanized artillery drivers. And it was issued to, one thing I find funny, blacksmiths and saddle makers, as well as corporals and NCOs that had mechanized driving type duties. So, support troops and the like. These are really sharp. I would not want to get sawn with these. And yeah, I just thought since I had one to show you, a 1914 Pioneer Sawback bayonet would be of interest to some of you. It is a far cry from modern bayonets. Very similar to German Sawback. And something uniquely Swiss. So, any interesting Swiss bayonet variants that you're aware of? Feel free to share them below. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to post them. As always, if you could, like, share, and subscribe. And if you'd like to help support the channel, please check out the link to our Patreon page. This is Misha, and we'll catch you very soon next time.